Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on 790 The Bet. Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency and Wally Hatchett's Comfort Food and Drinks at 6439 Summer Avenue.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on this November the 12th, the day after an important day in our country's life and an important day in my son's life. My son turned 50 yesterday. Ron, is that hard to believe, Ron? That,
unbelievable.
That my
and
son,
of course,
Jason,
Happy Veterans Day.
Yes, he always celebrates on Veterans Day, November the 11th. And I want to say a shout-out. We lost a veteran at our church this past week, Mr. Lee Dixon, who was a decorated military man, and he died the day before Veterans Day, and he's always up in his uniform. At church on Veterans Sunday, but anyway,
we should always say a thank you every day
for
the
that.
veterans that have provided the freedom we enjoy
and the freedom we do to even have this show here,
and
folks,
the freedom to fish all the time.
Oh, here we go into this, or deer hunt too. All right, but these shows don't just jump out at you, folks. I'm very formatted, as Ron will say. Really formatted, and Shelby will say that too. So, Keith Combs is supposed to be on this segment. Let's be honest, okay? And so Keith was going to follow Jordan Lee. And I said, well, then Keith is somewhere out in the hitherland and can't get a signal. And so Emily Harley of BASS said, can you help me, Emily? Well, she said, yeah, I got a young man that you need to talk to. And I said, okay, put him on. And so what really is strange of this is we just mentioned to Jordan Lee. In 2014, Jordan Lee did something that kick-started his career when he won the 2014 Bassmaster College Series bracket champion.
And went to the Classic.
Who do we have on next, Ron?
We have the winner of this year's 2022 BASS College Classic.
Bracket champion.
Bracket champion. He's out of the University of North Carolina, Charlotte, Louis Montanelli.
Oh,
Louis,
no, do it again. You got Louis right. Tell him how to say that last name, Louis.
Manelli.
Manetti.
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 I do that.
We got you.
Manetti.
There you go, Louis.
Louis, welcome to Outdoors with Larry Ray.
Yeah, we're glad to have you, Louis.
Thank you.
Coming in and pinch hitting, so to speak. But, Louis, first of all, congratulations. I've seen the video. I've seen how much you don't like fall fishing. I've seen that you didn't even want to look and see what the waves were at midday. You were all tied up about that, and then comes back and wins this tournament, and now you're going to the Classic in Knoxville.
Yes, sir.
How does it feel, man? I mean, for a college student to do this.
I mean, I honestly think the only word I can truly use to describe it is it's surreal.
It is. Yes. Yeah.
I was just talking to my buddies the other day, and we were talking about how last year, I'm sitting at the Classic. I try to go every year when it's close by, or even when it's not, honestly.
Yeah.
And just sitting there last year thinking about, man, I want to be on that stage, and to think that I'm going to be there in a couple months is truly surreal.
And Louis, first of all, the competition at the college level today is not like what it was
when Jordan
was
he
there.
mentioned that.
Today, so many colleges have so many programs and scholarships and everything else to build their team. The competition is there. Talk to us a little bit about your final day, or actually a final couple of days at the tournament that you won.
Yeah, so that tournament, as you guys mentioned, it's the bracket. So it's a completely different format. It's all head-to-head fishing. You're not fishing against a field. You're just fishing against the guy that you're seated against.
That's right. Yeah.
So it's a really different experience, and one that I wasn't used to. And, I often say that my strength and kind of who I am as a fisherman is as a kind of a finesse, consistent angler. I try and, I like to say I try and 2.5 pound you to death.
Yeah, okay.
And so that's how we won Team of the Year and how we got to the bracket. But I knew at that tournament that I would have to, kind of swing for the fences and catch big fish. So it was just it was nerve-wracking. It was exciting. I don't know if you saw the weights, but on that second day of the tournament, I had that biggest bag of almost 17 pounds.
Right.
I remember thinking to myself, man, it would be so nice to go into that final day if it was a normal tournament and have a big buffer.
Yeah.
Yes, but it wasn't a normal tournament.
Everything is zeroed.
You start back over. I mean, so you're sitting there and I've watched the video on the Bassmaster with the podcast guys, and you're sitting there. You don't even want to know at midday what's going on, right? I mean, you didn't look at the scoreboard or anything. Is that right? Is that?
Yeah, that's correct. So at that tournament, one of the other interesting, differences is that you have the ability to hear your competitors' weight at the midday update.
At the midday,
Yeah, that was just something I was kind of uncomfortable with. I mean, I'm so used to fishing, the normal style tournament where, you don't know anything about anyone. And I consider myself a pretty strong-minded angler. And the last thing I wanted to do was hear what somebody else had or how they were doing.
Well, that's kind of like what they say is dock talk too, and so you don't want to get into that.
Dock talk. I don't think we've ever said that. That's what it is. Yeah,
that's what it
is.
Ron.
Yeah,
and
I like
that. Lewis. First of all, everybody may talk about the boat that you have, which is a 96 Ranger.
Yeah, talk about it.
But I got to tell you something. I'm still fishing out of my 93 Champion.
There you go.
And I'm not going to trade it for nothing in the world.
Yes, sir.
And those old boats, they work better than a lot of the new ones today. But talking about, a product, has the sponsors come to you now to try to help you out to prepare for the Classic?
Yeah, so my boat, as you said, it's a 96 Ranger, and it's a 17-foot 96.
It's a 17-foot 90.
Well, I got
it's a little fella.
Okay,
yeah,
it's a little fella. Okay,
it is.
It is. Yeah.
So the really cool thing about the college bracket and the opportunity that Bass provides to us is that not only do I get the berth into the Classic and my entries into all 9 opens paid for.
Wow.
They provide me with a Nitro Z21 and a Toyota Tundra Bullet.
Wow.
Yeah, 21.5-foot boat with a 250 on it.
You're going to feel like Back to the Future here. I mean, with something like this. But
that's pretty cool, though, isn't it?
It's phenomenal.
Cool. Yeah.
It truly is.
Again, we're talking to Lewis Manetti out of the University of North Carolina, Charlotte, by way of New Jersey. We want to make sure we got that in there for you, Lewis. But
I appreciate it.
One of the things that I found interesting that Emily let me know that you went to last year's Classic. You got some confetti. Tell the story about that.
Yeah, so for a while now I've been working with a company here in Charlotte. I'm not working for. I'm in the shop every day building our baits at Biz Baits.
Okay,
and,
all right.
My boss's mom actually helps to organize the Classic every year, and so she got all of our employees and buddies down at the splash tank for the final day.
Oh yeah,
and I stay up in the rafters. It's just kind of my thing and how I roll. I kind of want to take the whole thing in, see the whole crowd. It's kind of my little thing of the Classic. The way I always put it was, I don't want to be down there at the stage until I'm walking across it.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah, the splash tank there is on the stage almost.
Yeah, but then the confetti comes. Okay, talk.
Yes. So they while they were down there, she actually grabbed a handful of it, and when we all met back up after the weigh-in was over and Christy had won, she handed it to me and said, "Well, you weren't on that floor, but here's a little piece of it." and a little inspiration for next year. So as the year went on, I took that in a little Ziploc bag. I took a couple pieces of it and stored it away.
Yeah.
And said, whenever I have the opportunity to try and qualify for that tournament, I'm going to take this with me. And so for the final 3 days of the regular season, when we tried to qualify to win Team of the Year to get to the bracket, and as well as all 3 days of the bracket, I put that little Ziploc bag in my back pocket.
Is that not cool? That's really cool. Yeah, and
great story.
So this year, I'm sorry, you won't be able to sit in the rafters. You're gonna.
I know.
You're gonna have to drive through.
You're gonna have to drive through, and you've watched it. You've been there in person. What's Louis Minetti going to feel, or what's going to happen when you drive into that at Knoxville next March?
Well, hopefully I don't faint.
You won't. You'll be so fired up, man.
I will tell you. No. And are you going to be able to get any time on the water before the Classic?
I definitely would be able to. I mean, I've got some time here. I'm just doing a ton of working and, going home for the holidays and stuff like that. But I really do think I'm not going to. Throughout the regular year, we didn't pre-practice or anything like that for any of our tournaments. And,
that's a good strategy.
Yeah. I mean, the one tournament I've ever pre-practiced for actually was the national championship this year. Is at Winyah Bay. We went down.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
we did terribly in it. So,
well, tell us
I think I'm going to stay away from it.
Do it. Well, Louis, we got to get out of here and let you go, and appreciate you on short notice being on Outdoors with Larry Ray, and I guarantee you're going to have some fans here. Just keep handling yourself the way you handle it today, and you're going to see Ron Wong. He'll be everywhere at the Classic over there, and I know he'll get
Louis. I will
get an interview with you. Yeah,
looking forward to meeting you in person.
Fantastic,
and we'll have a good time.
All right, buddy. Have a great weekend. Okay. All right.
Thank you. You guys as well.
All right. You remember us, though, now when you win that first $1 million, okay? All right, okay?
Of course.
All right. Thank you, Louis. Bye-bye.
Take care, guys.
Thank
you.
All right, we got to get out of here. Ron Wong's got things to do. I got things to do. A little quickly next week.
Oh, yeah, there's a football game tonight.
Yeah, there's one at 11 today, but it'll be over with at 12. All right, but we got Dale Sanders in studio next week, the Graybeard Adventurer. Can't wait to talk to him. And this is Larry Ray. Remind you to do each and every week. Doesn't cost an extra cent to be a good sport. What else, Ron?
God bless the USA.